Welcome back to my channel. This is Nikki of Nikki's Homemade Crafts. This pretty and thick pot holder is made with the thermo crochet stitch as well as the envelope border all the way around. This pattern is part of a very special event called the Advent Calendar Crochet Along. It has a mystery effect to it because you don't know which pattern will be published each day. There will be 24 free crochet patterns out of 30. You can get the entire 30 crochet patterns in an ebook. It's all last-minute gift ideas. If you would like to get the ebook, check the link down below in the description or my website. The entire event is sponsored by Lion Brand. So let's get started with today's quick crochet pattern. In order to crochet the pot holder, you're going to need some cotton yarn. I'm using Lion Brand's 24/7 cotton yarn in the color Beets. I'm also using a G plus or 4.5 millimeter hook. You're going to crochet 21. I'm making a small swatch so you can see all the parts of this pattern. So 21, and then you're going to start from the second chain from the hook, crochet 1 single crochet per chain. You will end up with 20 chains. Now you're going to crochet the thermal stitch. What you're going to do is you're going to chain 1 that does not count as a stitch. Now you're going to go through the back loop. So hold your project like this versus this. Okay, so hold it towards you, having the last stitch away from you or closer to your hook. Now go through the back loop right here and the corresponding loop down here. So I hope you made sure that you went into the back bump here when you did your first row, because that way it's easier to see. Okay, so these are 2 parallel loops to each other, the back loop and a loop down here. Okay, now yarn over, pull through and finish it up like a single crochet. Now go to the next stitch. So you're going to have to hold it like that. Going to go here to the next stitch, back loop and the parallel loop right there, yarn over and single crochet. Now let's do that again, back loop, parallel loop and single crochet. You're going to do that until the end of the row and it will naturally turn at this point. You can start seeing how I'm turning here, even though I'm not really turning, it's just naturally the piece moves slightly. So once you make your very last stitch like I just did, it automatically flips like this, right? It's natural that it kind of turns because of the way you are crocheting. Now chain 1 and now you go into the next row. So again, you're going to look for your back loop, but in this case now you're going to look for the leftover loop from the previous row, which was that front loop. You can still call leftover loop, parallel loop, whatever you want to call it. So it's the back loop and the leftover loop from the previous row. You're going to yarn over and pull through and single crochet. In the next stitch, same is true. So back loop and leftover loop and single crochet. You're going to do this until the end of the row. Then you're going to chain 1 and turn. You're going to continue on until you have 16 rows on each side. As you probably noticed, we're going back and forth. You're going to have to count each side of your pot holder. So look at these little rounded bumps here. Each of them is 1 row. So here's 1, 2, 3 rows for me. And then it would be here 1, 2, 3, 4 rows. So do that on each side until you have 15 on one side and 16 on another. Once you're at that point, you're going to crochet your very last row, and that is done by going through all 3 loops. So the front loop, the back loop, and the leftover loop. So that would be your last 16th row on the one side. So simply go through all 3 loops to finish up your piece. At that stage, you will have 16 rows on each side. So now we're going to work on the border. You have a few different choices. You can leave your swatch like this. You can just add your little loop onto it, or you're going to add a border. There's different types of borders. I like using the envelope border because it's just as thick as the thermal crochet stitch. So let's do that. I'm going to teach you real quick on how to do that on my little tiny swatch here. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to crochet evenly slip stitches all the way around, okay, but loosely. You want the same amount on each side. So for example, here on the top here, I have 5 stitches. So I want to make sure there's 5 on the bottom. And then here on the side, I probably want the same amount. You want a 20 on each side. So I'm just going to make a smaller version right here. So I'm just going to do 5 slip stitches on my side here. 5 on that side, on the bottom, and on the other side. Once you have done your slip stitches, you are going to turn it around and go to the back. So if you have a different type of yarn, it's going to be easier to see, but otherwise you're going to have to look for your little loops. They're the back side of your slip stitch. So what you're going to do is you're going to crochet double crochet stitches into them. So you're going to look for your little loops at the back side of your slip stitch. I'm going to start with an alternative turning chain as the very first double crochet. And now just go all the way around and crochet your double crochets into those stitches. Sometimes you can use kind of your hook literally as a hook and grab your loop and then crochet right on top of it. In the corners, I recommend crocheting, so that's if you have 4 on this side, and the 5th one would be the corner. So into the corner stitch, I recommend crocheting 3 double crochets instead of just 1 and then maybe a chain or something. So crochet 3 double crochets into the corner, and then 1 double crochet on the edges. Once you're done, slip stitch to the very first double crochet, or in my case it's an alternative turning chain. Now you turn. Now you're going to crochet into the front part of your slip stitch. So you can make a chain first, probably a great idea, so you have a little bit of room here. Now go down and crochet into either both or the back loop of the slip stitch. So hopefully you made your slip stitches loosely so you can easily crochet into them. And as before, into the corners you're going to crochet 3 double crochets. Once you finish the double crochets all the way around on both sides, it's going to look like this. So the last step to finishing up this border, and it also allows you to hide your yarn, of course, your yarn ends, which you kind of tuck in there, is you're going to do slip stitches all the way around. So how you're going to do that is up to you. You can go through both of these loops together, but typically what it's done is you're going to go through the back loop of one side of the double crochets and then the back loop from the other direction as well. So meaning the 2 loops of the double crochets that are touching each other. So you can see here, these are the 2 loops. These are both back loops, right? Depending on which direction you're looking at. And you're simply going to place slip stitches right on top. So that closes up that gap between the 2 rounds that you've done. And it finishes up the border as well as the pot holder. Once you're done, it's going to look like this. I added just a little bit of a loop here. So I made a chain of 10, slip stitch, and then 1 single crochet per chain and fastened off. And then you're done with your pot holder with the envelope border all the way around. You have a few different choices to get this pattern in a written format. Number 1 is my website. It does have ads, but you can view the pattern for free. Number 2 is you can get it as a PDF through Ravelry or Etsy. It's ad-free and printer-friendly. Number 3 is my membership, and you're not only going to get this pattern ad-free and printer-friendly, but you also get all my other patterns in a vault, easy to access, printer-friendly, and ad-free. And number 4 is the ebook that includes all 30 last-minute gift idea patterns. All 30 come with videos. And the entire ebook is a PDF. It's easy to print out and it's ad-free. In fact, it even includes the feature that you can click in a table of content and jump right to the pattern. So 4 different options for you to get this pattern in a written format. Which one will you choose? Be sure to like, comment, and share this video. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and turn on the bell to get a notification next time I publish a video or go live. Now go ahead and watch the next video. You're gonna want to, I promise you do.